All right, Destin, I throw it to you for our newest segment.
Okay, here it is. 10-minute talks. Going to start the timer, so that's running. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll probably forget. But this week's subject is Call of Duty Ghosts.
Whoa.
The big multiplayer reveal
Dun, dun,
happened
dun.
this week.
Yeah, that's right. And the big reveal was women are playable in multiplayer. That was pretty interesting. And I wanted to know, Internet, how does it feel to see a woman get stabbed in the face? So, Ryan, how does that make you feel, just seeing that?
So, I mean, I will admit that even if this is wrong, it is jarring, and the reason is because I'm so, for lack of a better word, numb to just always stabbing dudes in the face in multiplayer games that it's something I'm not used to seeing, and so it is kind of like, whoa, wait a second, and it does kind of give me pause, I will say.
Naomi, how does it make you feel?
Well, actually, so I obviously it's a very sensitive subject. I actually took notes for all this stuff. Just wanted to let you know. I think it shouldn't be jarring. For me, when I hear these kind of stories, I'm like, why is it still an issue? Why is it still something we have to point out and sensationalize?
Okay, but how did it make you feel? That's the question.
I mean, I saw it, and it was such a quick little bleep in the video. I mean, it was just they were playing a match, and they were just introducing the match. They weren't even playing at that point. So for me, it was just, I mean, did they have to include it? Maybe not, but I think it's something that's, right now with the times, we should just accept that, women are in games, and they're going to get killed, know?
So for you,
I don't
no
think
effect.
it's something new. Or it's new to Call of Duty, at least. I think they're a bit behind the curve in that.
Yeah, well, Gears of War was doing the chainsaw.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is basically that. We've seen it so much now. Why is it still something we're talking
and
about?
I mean, I think we all played Tomb Raider earlier this year, which anytime Laura dies
Okay,
in that
there's
game
Tomb
is like the
Raider.
most gruesome.
Right.
By the way,
shit ever. Yeah.
I think that
you're in the. Why are you? It's Lara. It's Lara. There's no U in it.
Lara.
What did I say? Laura?
Laura,
I think there's a U in it.
I noticed
We'll
lots
go
of people
back.
do that.
I think
It's
we should
very
do that.
strange. Anyway.
back to the issue.
So, Naomi, no effect for you.
So,
Correct?
I mean, correct. I think it was such a quick moment in the shot. I don't think it's something that we should sensationalize. I think we should just, accept that. We've seen it in Halo. We've seen it in Borderlands. We've seen it in Mass Effect. Like, women are part of games now, and
However,
I think...
my counter argument to that, though, would be just in the sense that all the games you just mentioned are very cartoonish. Halo, sorry Bungie / 343 didn't do it. But with Bungie, the female Spartans looked basically the same. They were just a little. Their body proportions were slightly different. In Gears of War, they're wearing overtly cartoonish armor, and in Borderlands, she's literally a cartoon.
Yeah.
So that's where I think maybe with Call of Duty, that's where it sort of struck me back, took me aback a little bit, because it's a more realistic depiction of a human being.
Okay, Marty, how did you feel? Sorry, Naomi.
I don't honestly, like I said, this is something we all played Tomb Raider, and it had those really kind of exaggerated moments of death where if you mess up going down a waterfall, like you just get stabbed through the larynx with a twig. And so honestly, this is something I've certainly become desensitized to violence in games and violence in movies and violence in media as a whole. And so for me, this is just the next step. I mean, I would not be surprised if within 5 or 6 years there's going to be kids in Call of Duty.
That's never happening.
I would be willing to bet within a decade, honestly.
I would take that bet.
Okay.
I would take that bet. Shall we bet like Justin and I bet 10 ears of corn?
10 years
when we bet that Farming Simulator would never see the light of day on Xbox, and it turns out now it's going to. So I think I owe Justin 10 ears of corn.
So you also no reaction
I want to see
to
that
the
exchange.
kills? Oh, for me, just seeing a woman being stabbed in the throat, it makes me uncomfortable, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I feel a little weird about it, and I don't know what it is. Like, I'm killing people even in Splinter Cell. I play Splinter Cell non-lethal. I don't like slaughtering people.
Right.
And, this is really up close, very personal. And it makes me feel a little uncomfortable, and I don't know if that's, an equality thing. I just don't like stabbing women.
Okay.
But
do you think it's what I hope this is, and it's just like growing pains in a sense, is that eventually we'll just be used to the fact that, there shouldn't be a gender issue in the first place. Like, it shouldn't just be whether this is a guy or a girl. I think we should all be equal, and that we should see it that way.
I want to float this out there. I'm not saying I believe this, but just as a point of discussion, do you guys think, particularly the other gentleman here on the panel, do you guys think maybe is part of that discomfort a sort of,
it's new.
Basic human, like almost a primal, female, I need to protect that, like just literally like an almost Neanderthal level.
It could very well be. I mean,
reaction to it.
That's the basic of all human life. I think we always can resort to that.
Yeah.
One idea that maybe it's just inherent in our genes, but yeah.
I'm assuming that Anita Sarkeesian is going to do a video centered around this at some point in the future, and I'm curious to see what she has to say on it.
So I also put this question out to Twitter. Jonah responded, "I'm sure my cousin Marcella would have a few pointed words for you. She served and she knew what could happen to her." To which I responded, I'm like, oh, well, she knew what would happen to her. I guess I'm comfortable with stabbing women now.
Right.
Like it's about how I feel about it. It's not about equality. It's not about like getting equal rights or everything. It makes me feel slightly uncomfortable.
Right.
It's not something I can just make go away.
Of course.
But it is a fact. Like, women serve in the military and they go to the front lines and some of them die. And
right.
So
which is why I think the Call of Duty is kind of late to the party with that.
Yeah.
They should have had women from the get-go, but I mean
and honestly,
that's not how it is. So.
It's weird because it's a game like Call of Duty is just nonstop violence and genocide, and so I don't know. For me personally, what you are killing doesn't really make a difference. Like the No Russian scene to me was still just.
See, I will
that
say,
was manufactured controversy.
I still. Like in Splinter Cell, taking out a dog, I still like. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it. So that's So just I guess anything that's not a dude that I just some
trying to kill
generic
you.
Dude. Yeah, like it does sort of give me pause a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, especially in Call of Duty, I guess people aren't used to it. But I do hope that will change. I mean,
Yeah, I agree. I think I'll get used to it, and everybody will get used to it. Then it won't matter eventually.
Yeah.
Is that but you think that is a good thing, Naomi? For us, if we do get used to it and just accept.
I mean, I think it's a reality of where we're headed as a society. I think women have a bigger role in society, and
absolutely.
We're tough women. There's tough women out there, and people who kick ass, and who I mean, if you look at the whole just the multiplayer reveal trailer, like that whole time you're bashing, like you're killing dudes and stuff. At the end, you're revealed as a woman. Like, I think that's awesome, and I think that that's something that we should, definitely hold on a pedestal and think that that's a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, I know somebody else who thinks it's awesome. Callie, you might remember we had her on the show.
Yeah, she was on the Xbox, the May 21st show.
Yeah,
I believe it was episode 95, maybe 96.
She said her reaction was, "It's expected, it's COD, it's not like it's violence against women, it's just violence, and I feel included." And so, it's great that she's, she has that female character she can play as.
Yeah.
And Charity Moromi on Twitter also said, "Is it weird that it makes me feel involved? When women appear in a game, it makes me feel more a part of it, even 100%. If it's someone else playing the female character. Makes me feel all badass about being a lady."
No, exactly. Right. And it's something we should be proud of. I think there's a reason that they decided to put that feature in the game. I mean, it's not... I think there was a lot of discussion, maybe at Treyarch, whether or not to do it, but, I mean, there's a reason. There must have been a want for that to be included. And for people to want to have that choice.
Yeah. Well, we got a minute left, but I think that's a good wrapping up point. Thank you guys for.
This has been 9-minute talks.
Yeah, 9-minute talks.
Maybe we might have to change her.
Maybe we'll just call it Twitter talks.
Twitter talks.
Yeah, and we'll put the question out.
I don't. That's a nice. You can alliteration is a good thing.
Yeah. I like the double T's.
Taking notes.
All right. Excellent job, everybody.
Yeah.
So on with the rest of the news this week. That is.